everyone, today I'll review this brand new series just dropped on Netflix called Boyfriend on Demand. And this series, it is from Korea and it is kind of like a romantic slash comedy. And this series centers around, we see she like works all day long. The show is actually starts with like her daily routine. Like she goes to work, comes home, eat her food, and like no time no time for dating or anything. The show starts with, and we also see like where she work in this webtoon company where she is the producer, and there is also this guy who is the director, and recently he gets promoted. The show starts with, then we see in the show she also has a sister, and she has some this relationship with her friends stuff. They're getting married, so she's under a lot of pressure because her life is really busy, but there is no time for dating or anything like that. So this show really starts with very realistic tone. Everyone has this issue. Life is too busy, there's no time for yourself or finding love if you're single. So this show starts with this very real issue. Then we see in the show when she subscribed to this dating website, where a very interesting concept, like where she goes to this virtual world there, and in this virtual world she meets this handsome guy there, and then we see she comes back to life and she's like, whoa, what just happened? So the show's premise is like, for her to go into this virtual world and she meet this guy who's really nice and she likes him and everything. This is very realistic tone it has. I feel like that is how people's life going to be in the future. This show's plot is very interesting, and the center actress, she's really good in this role. So is the guy. All the guy in the show, they're also really good. I'm sorry, I don't remember any of them name, but you know what I mean. And also her relationship with her sister. Uh, as I'm saying, the plot is for this show is very interesting, but unfortunately, does take little time to get there. The show is, unfortunately, is a little bit like slow, I will say. Like the first act is really is very, like a little bit dragged. Like some of the scene in the show is really very draggy that a lot of people will not enjoy initially. Again, plot for this show is definitely interesting. It's very realistic and everything, but at the same time, it does have a lot of, all this unnecessary scene and everything. And I see some people are saying online, this show would have been better if it was a movie. And I think personally, I do agree. If it was a movie, like 2-hour movie or something, could have been better, especially this kind of story. It could have been work. Not that I didn't like overall the show, but first few episodes is quite slow, and like the pacing for this show is definitely is issue. Like it takes time to get to the good stuff, and I thought overall it does, like the way it ended is really satisfying ending, and the chemistry between the characters were quite believable, and like all the scene between the character, I personally actually did like them. It's just too detailed for this type audience. As I saw, a lot of people didn't like how dragged some of the episodes are, which when I was watching, I also felt that like it's definitely dragged out a lot. But then again, most of the Korean show, they do make it like this. First few episodes is kind of like a setup for the story, and it goes on. The audience feel more in, like once you know the character, obviously you feel more invested in the story you are watching. That's how most Korean show goes, in my opinion. But this one, it was a little bit like slower than other ones, I will say. But overall, this show did have very interesting plot, and visually also, I must say, some of this visually, this the virtual world, it also looks really good. Like overall, the show looked really good. It does have very happy feel to it. End of the day, it is a romantic comedy, and like it's not that most of time Korean show can be very sad and tragic, this is still overall, it does have very good feel to it, and the way it looks like that, and I like that this show overall, I personally thought it was still very enjoyable to watch. I did like all the character and everything. I overall did enjoy it. I just saw some of the people are online, they're saying this could have been better if it was movie, and I do agree to that, but overall still was quite interesting watch. And that's my thought on this. Let me know in the comment what do you think about this show. If you enjoyed my this review, don't forget other reviews on other show. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. Until I see you next time, please take care.